Last week was the most productive week, week 24 of my 40-week training plan to qualify for 2027 Boston Marathon. I had the longest run and the most run from last week. Without further ado, let's take a look at the KPI from week 24. If you look at the ramp up for phase 2, March 1st, I ran 46 minutes, 4 miles. Week of March 8th, I logged 13 miles, just over 2 hours and a half. And week of March 15th, week of March 22nd, I only had one run. And I will talk about why I only had one run on a different episode. Week of March 29th, I picked back up. And last week was the best week yet. Even though I logged almost 30 miles and just under 6 hours, I did not have any significant pain, aches, or pain. And you can see the number of runs per week. I started to ramp up. And last week, I had 5 total runs. When I do train each session, I'm very intentional what heart rate I hit. On April 5th, it was my 400 meter. You see, most of the time was spent in zone 4 and reach over to zone 5. On April 6th, it was an easy run, mostly in zone 2. On April 7th is a tempo run where I focus heavily on zone 4, spill into zone 5. My intention with the long run is to run it in that zone 4, maybe some zone 3 just to reduce the heart rate a little bit, but try to maintain that zone 4 because when I do run marathon, this will be the zone that I'll be focusing on. On April 11th, it's an easy run, strictly zone 2. This graph shows how much time I spent on aerobic training versus anaerobic. My resting heart rate, since I started zone 2, it has continued to come down and it stays down around 55, 56 beats per minute. And my weight over those time frame average about 158. I prioritize sleep to make sure I have at least 7 hours. So my sleep score has been pretty awesome, averaging around 82. And my sleep duration average about 7.5 hours. Based on my current training, the prediction for the full marathon is I will finish in 4 hours and 37 minutes. We'll see how the prediction looks comes end of July. And for me, I don't really trust this prediction, but it's nice to see what the program thinks. And for half marathon, it predicts that I will finish in 2 hours and 2 minutes. To be honest, based on my current run efficiency and how I feel, I believe I can run sub 2 hours in half a marathon now. So that's the summary of the dashboard. Let's take a look a little bit deeper into each of the run. This is my 400 meter repeat. As you know, I focus on the pace as well as how much effort I have to put in to attain that pace. So heart rate as well as cadence and stride length. Let's take a look at this lap for the 400 meter and look at my heart rate for my best lap for the target that I was looking for, which is 7 minutes and 3 seconds or under. If you look at this lap, which was just under 7-minute mile, my heart rate was pretty stable, goes a little bit above 169. But the second lap, the heart rate was awesome, keeping that 164 or less, and I can still hit that 650-minute mile. And the other one, the 705, just slightly above the 703 target, the heart rate kind of creep up a little bit further. But overall, I am getting much more efficient with a very modest zone 4 heart rate. I can maintain and hit the target pace. Granted, it's only 3 laps and 4 laps, but it's still pretty awesome to know that I am capable of hitting that pace at that low of a heart rate. Now let's take a look at the run cadence. The run cadence was well above 180. That is fantastic. I did had a little bit over 200, and then I got fatigued a little bit, so I had to slow down to about 175, 180 step per minute. The good news with the cadence, I finally figured out how to run at a higher step count so that I don't have to put in more energy as I try to gain that speed. I've been able to, on the fly, pick up over 175 steps per minute, almost as high as 200. I just have to figure out a way to kind of limit that step count a little bit, fine tune it, so that I can also take into account the stride length and not overexert myself in the heart rate. But overall, last week was a good sign that I finally got my running form down so that I can maintain a very healthy step count. Unfortunately, I did not wear my Garmin heart monitor, so it doesn't show the stride length for this run. This is a tempo run. Let's take a look at the tempo run and look at my heart rate. My first mile was at 8:30 minute pace, and then I slowed down a little bit to 9:06 pace, and then a little bit slower at 9:41. But the good news was I was able to achieve 8:30 minute mile at a very good heart rate, 160 beats on average. Fantastic. Let's take a look at stride length. Stride length was a little bit inconsistent, but it is over 1 meter. I just need to find ways to keep that consistent movement so I don't fluctuate from stride to stride. My run cadence for this tempo run, I didn't quite figure how to keep that consistent stride per minute yet until later on in the week. As you can see, it's under 107 steps per minute. Take a look at long run. This long run is fantastic. Let's overlay the heart rate. I can get a pretty decent 9:15 to 9:30 minute mile at a very easy heart rate pace of 154, 156. This is a huge improvement for me. At about 155 beat per minute, I can achieve 9:18 to 9:30 minute mile. And if you look at the pace when I ran my last marathon last year, it's a drastic difference. With the same heart rate, I was running a lot slower. This was the marathon from last year. Let's overlay the heart rate. You see my pace was above 10 minute mile, around 10 minute mile, but my heart rate was about the same what I had on my tempo run. So with the same heart rate, I run about 1 minute mile pace faster than my marathon pace. I still have a lot of work to do yet to achieve my target pace come the end of July. But knowing that the training I have been doing has shaved off 1 minute mile pace from my last marathon, it is promising. Last but not least, the easy run. For the easy run, I kept it easy. I made sure it is zone 2, average about 125 beat per minute. And when I jog, if I goes up to 132 beat per minute, I walk until I get down to about 120, 122, and then jog again and did not allow it to go above 132 beat per minute. But as I tried to optimize my training program, built a solid base in zone 2 easy running, I noticed Garmin Connect and Strava has their percentage to max heart rate different for zone 2. Garmin is 60 to 70% of max heart rate. Strava is about 65% to 81% max heart rate. Which one should I go with? Or should I go with the conversational pace where I can carry on full sentences, full paragraph without huffing and puffing? I would like to know, because I want to make sure when I train easy run, it is indeed easy in that easy zone and not go into zone 3, moderate pace. I would like to hear your thought, what you think of it. I was so proud of keeping this easy run easy, so consistent. Look at my heart rate. Look at the pace. 13 minute mile, 12 minute mile, just under 13 minute mile. But look at the heart rate. I did not allow myself to go faster than zone 2. What's even more impressive for me is the run cadence. I figured out as I continued to run, I figured out how to have my run cadence at above 180 steps per minute. This is when I start to realize and know how to have the correct form, the correct leg movement to get that step count up. That sums up my best training week yet, week 24, where I logged just under 30 miles and I ran 5 runs with 1 recovery walk. Later in the week, I figured out how to increase my step count to 180 and above and increase my running efficiency. When I ran my tempo run, I was able to achieve my target 7 minutes and 3 second pace or less with very minimal heart rate increase. I can't wait to see what this week, week 25, has for me. And I believe based on my progression, my progress so far, it's going to be another great week for me.